wonderful feeling in the room. I've been here all day and thank you for the opportunity. I'm here on behalf of Pete Folsom, New Zealand owned forestry company, but similarly several other forestry companies in the Nelson area, namely Nelson Forest and Tasman Pine. So yeah, thank you very much for welcoming me here. I'm sure there's plenty of questions, not for me, but for others here. So I'll just quickly whip through a few things. Just outline the issues with forestry that Andrea has touched on. Probably as a forestry industry, what we're doing and how I think the timing of that is really beneficial for care conservation and what we're trying to do here. And then ultimately, as Andrea pointed out before, we're about to roll out some specific care management guidelines, which is a really cool thing. So why conflict with forestry? Well, there wasn't no surprises there. What's that ad on TV? No surprises. This is a hauler that we had in Golden Bay, and clearly, as they do, just getting into a lot of the wiring there. So, as forest managers and for our contractors, you know, the productivity loss and downtime, as well as damage to equipment, is significant. Corey, I saw your photos earlier on where you had transmitters on the back of your Kia. Like, how the hell you got to stay on there? Because they tended to bully a bit of electrical work we had. You know, in terms of the care as well, you know, injuries and as we know, death too. So that's something that our industry really needs to address. And Andrea, look, I knew I had issues, but I didn't for the life of me think that forestry was your biggest client. So look, I'll just bit of scene setting really. Forestry in New Zealand, really only 7% of the total land area is plantation forestry. It's not a big amount, but as we flick through in terms of our contribution to GDP, like forestry well and truly is a big contributor. Maybe the slide was done when the dairy industry was doing a bit better, but it just shows. But interestingly, from another discussion, the comparison between GDP from the pasture, pastoral farming is actually quite interesting, but that's another debate. We've talked about 1080, we've talked about lead. I don't want to go into water quality. In New Zealand, we are experiencing record production levels in our harvesting, and predictions are that we will continue to grow. So I just really want to put forestry in perspective. So this is great timing for care and protection really, because environmental certification, this is simply international recognition that forest management standards are at international levels. And all of us in this room, it comes down to us. It comes down to us rocking into Bunnings and buying that bit of timber and being comfortable that bit of timber that we're buying has come from a source that is a well-managed forest. So here we've got various forms of certification, and as we'll get to a couple of those particularly big in New Zealand. What this means is that as a forestry manager, it's not just about growing a tree and cutting it down. World-class forest management is about understanding your indigenous resource as well as our ecosystems and our biodiversity, and that was touched on really early on today. So FSC, Forest Stewardship Council, that is our largest certification system in New Zealand. As pointed out here, approximately 1 million hectares is FSC certified, so that's a big whack. So when you are looking at your products purchased, you'll be looking for that FSC logo. And for me, an EMS, Environmental Management System, this is just about how we do things. Accreditation, FSC or accreditation really is based around these things here. As I said earlier, being the best forest manager that we can, it's about understanding our biodiversity and particularly our rare and threatened species, and then ultimately how we can help. So what I see with the care is that we've got a fantastic opportunity really for plantation forestry managers to take on board all the knowledge that you clearly, we're building. It's a real privilege to be here just to see that. You know, each and every one of you brings an area of knowledge that just collectively comes together. So I think the brainstorm sessions tomorrow, whilst I won't be here through screaming kids at home, I really look forward to the outcomes, and I'm no doubt working with you in the future. So where we got to, and I'm proud to say, is that so locally in Nelson we'd had these situations where our forestry operations were coming into conflict with care. So, you know, what did we do? We got hold of Andrea Goodman. She was fantastic. And so getting her up on site, really working with our women and men on the ground there, working through what we can do to safeguard these birds. So that's how it came about. So our forestry industry, we have management guidelines for the brown kiwi and we have guidelines for the falcon. So we were up here in Nelson and we were thinking, what are we doing about the kia? You know, I'm a South Islander, you know, so it was about time I put my hand up. So that's where a few of us got together with Andrea, and really, I'm really proud to say that we're pretty close to rolling out some draft management guidelines. Ultimately, our role is to raise the profile of kia within our workforce. These are the draft guidelines. Seriously, they're only a couple of days old, which is great. So any day now, we will be rolling them out to our crews and then also to other forestry companies in the South Island to really get that message out there. Our key really is our workforce. They've worked with kia, as we all have, but there's a real lack of knowledge as to how threatened they are. Like, kia are drawn to us, so you know we think they're plentiful, they're everywhere, but the guts of it is they're not. So I really look forward to, within our industry, within our crews, sitting down and running through these guidelines and just raising that level of industry knowledge. It gets to care nest, so none of us absolutely know what to look for. And you know, forestry, well, it's a destructive game. You can see how the forest and a care nest in the same place, there's real potential there. So I'm not worried about that. I'm actually really excited about that. Just listening to the work that's been done, particularly in the Kahurangi and the Wangapeka, I just crying out to jump over the fence and look at the plantation forestry estate and get your team out there and help us to identify where there are care nests. So I think that's a first thing. This is just juvenile elk here, and for me, you know, I don't know a lot about them, so this is great. But I'm just really intrigued as to how many or how few birds we have. You had the where are you, Josh, mate? Sorry, yeah. Well, I think you had 6 pairs. You know, six pairs. Like that's, you know. Exactly. So when I'm sitting there with our forestry contractors, you know, on a skid site, talking to them, when I say, in all that Wangapeka area, how many hectares? 5,500. We've got 6 pairs. You know, they'll be shocked. They will be shocked. You know, 1970s we were dealing to care, and a lot of our guys in the workforce and girls were probably around back then too. So I really need to, as an industry, really need to get this message out there. Okay, so this is really where Andrea and the Care Conservation Trust comes in. What to do? I've just highlighted a couple of things. We've already talked about not leaving food and not playing with them. You know, I can, you know, our guys will be, you know, they'll be shocked to hear things like that. Protect wires and cables with hydraulic hosing, we know about that. But, you know, there's really cool, we talk about innovation and Andrea's team, the use of cinnamon and garlic paste, and effectively the development of care kits on site. So look, when we are in a forest where we know that the care are present, then we've got at least some bits of equipment to help to work through things here. So if you like, this information here, this 6-page document, this will sit within every crew, with every crew supervisor. So here, in terms of bending, injured, conflict, sightings, this is just the one-stop shop, so it's a really cool thing. And the key message which has come through loud and clear today is fed care is a dead care. Like when we were working with, or Andrea was working with the website developers here, I was worried that fed care as a dead care might get dropped out. It wasn't too PC, but it's really sticking out, isn't it? So actually, this is my last slide. So I think you'll all be stoked to know that the plantation industry, we're in a really good spot, really good timing. These fantastic people in this room that have been working a heap load longer than I have, but we are poised. I think we're in a really, really good spot. The technology, the tracking, just the recording of data, really, really excited to see as a forestry industry collectively we can help integrate that. So, on behalf of the Plantation Forestry team, thank you.